We had 2 additional viewing platforms. We're only proceeding with 1 because of a potential riverfront development that would take the other one.
It's advertised next Monday.
So it's being advertised next Monday for
Center Street, right?
Yeah.
the Center Street for development. Kevin, you gave me 2 others real quick. Downtown backflow preventers.
Yeah.
There's one, and the relining of the downtown.
Yeah, really, the sewer reline, I want to see where we were with that, because I know Mike set aside money from the last, FEMA or whatever.
Build back better, whatever you want to call it. We have the money in place. That just came about a month ago, by the way. So I have RFPs out to our engineering firms for proposals to do the bid specs for that.
Okay.
As far as the downtown backflow preventers, some of them are covered by the state, some are us.
Right, I know, well, the ones downtown, I think, are all us. I know we have the ones that they were working on.
There's 6 others.
There's 6 others, yeah, those are state. I know they're working on the 2 up there, I'm not having a problem with that, but I just wanted to go back. The main thing I'm concerned about is hours downtown. I want to try within the next, I spoke to Sean about trying to get that on the budget for next year for DPW to get those downtown ones finished. And I've been pushing for them for a couple of years now, and we just kind of,
Well, we didn't have
run out of money.
We didn't have that money, but we found money that from an old capital project for street and road repair that we could write a couple out of.
Okay, good. So I'd like, if not all of them done downtown, at least a good percentage of them.
And then you did one on another road with just the contractor. We didn't really need to engineer him.
No, it was
Bob Pro guy came in.
Yeah,
They cover everything.
They cover the extra ones needed up on River Way and that street project. Nobody accounted for that.
No, I mean downtown. Do we need to go out for RFPs for our engineers to do it, or can just the contractor that installs the backflow preventer do it?
I want to talk to the vendor because installing them is not too bad, but the problem is we're going to need some kind of a barge to get the old ones off and put the new ones on there. They're heavy, the pine flats are very heavy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we got to do it.
So that's the only problem downtown is it's not, the Embry was easy because you could walk in and just put it in place. You were hip deep and pull it out.
So then I need to do some RFPs.
So as far as North Beach is concerned, do you want to get some up there? Should we do executive session and talk about that? What do you want to do?
I just talked to T&M who started that project. We are requesting a meeting, whether it be a Zoom meeting or an in-person meeting, with the person that sent us a letter and her meeting supervisor to talk about that. Because I spoke to both of the residents up there, and as you know, the request is not huge. They wanted a 14-foot easement on one person's property. It renders the property somewhat limited to development because there's only a 7.5-foot setback under our zoning ordinance. If the state takes 14 feet, if that person wants to sell the home, it's limited to what anybody could build on it. It's not a huge home now. So if someone wanted to demolish it and build a nice big new home, they couldn't do it. So that's not fair to that resident. We only asked for the pipe to be refurbished in place. And they took that, the state took that as we don't want the project, so we requested a meeting and
We're not going anywhere.
no, Greg Gito just tried it last week, so I don't know where it is.
Well, one of the issues that came up with refurbishing place is that one of the homeowners to the north, after the pipe was they already knew the pipe wasn't,
Yeah.
he built a garage on top of it. So they couldn't refurbish it in place because now the pipe, there's a garage on top of it, even though it wasn't supposed to, but we did. And so now they had to move the pipe to the right, to the south side and onto the neighbor's property. So we did speak with the neighbor, and I think Greg is looking to see if they can redesign the project so that.
And we don't want to lose
7.5-foot setback.
And we don't want to lose the state, so.
Right.
No, and we're also concerned, there were 2 in the south, one near Eventide where it floods, and one at another location
I
where
think it's Chris's land.
could be. Why did they do those? I mean, you
And
know,
it floods into town all the time, so, firm.
Well, that's all, when we went with the state to look at them, that's, all of those flood events, the sewer, storm water drains in front of fountains and stuff like that, are all connected to Chris's Landing. There's about 13 of them that run in and out through Chris's Landing, and that one is basically buried under sand.
Wonderful.
So, and there's no check valve on it. It's completely buried under sand, so when the water comes up, the pipes are just coming right out. So that's what that's are. And same thing happens from Evenstein side too, because then pops up through the service.
All right, so Joe, you're on that, and you'll make sure that if there's no follow-up, you'll let us know.
Kevin will be in the meeting with the city.
Okay, all right, go ahead, John.
Just on the capital project, could you give us just an update on the concrete work for the firehouse?
We have a price for it. We're trying to figure out who's going to pay for it because it wasn't our problem, as you know. Although they did have to set that water container there, we've been negotiating with the engineering firm to try to get a resolution to that problem. We know it's a $8,000 or $9,000 FX check, but we don't have the $8,000 or $9,000, and we didn't cause it to be built that way. It's it's not really safe to walk across.
And could we, if we try and get that project underway, could we tie the stairs, possibly the stairs going down?
We had two other projects that we were going to do at the same time, on Mary's Lane handicap ramp and those steps going down on the other side. When we get a concrete person to come in, he already knows that we want those two done.
And just, I'm not familiar with, there was an incident with the garage door in the firehouse at the extreme south end. And the repair, the numbers I heard is in the 30,000 range. We can't fix the door, they have to replace it, and it's a customized door, $30,000. It's extraordinary.
We sent it to the JIF. It got stuck up. We pulled the manual release and it wouldn't come down. That's pretty much correct. And then we sent Public Works over, and I guess it dislodged and it came slamming down and ruined much of the door.
All the panels are bent and
And it's a $36,000 door. It's
I guess the cable had snapped and got coiled around the coil. The coil's on the top. Got coiled around that, and it freed itself. And
Do we have a warranty on the building?
well, we do, but that it's a malfunction. It's
Still a warranty.
No, I mean we're trying with the contractor. I think it was a 2-year guarantee. It's been a little longer than 2 years.
Really been over 2 years?
That all doors been installed, absolutely.
You got going in there.
Well, what's the 2-year guarantee from? When they're installed or when they're returned?
It's when we accept the product.
Well, we haven't, we're well within 2 years.
So bad, I don't know.
We're really fortunate, no, we heard.
Yes.
Because he was actually physically working on the door, right down 4 inches from his head. So, had that hit somebody,
Yeah. So we sent it to the JIF, hopefully the JIF will coordinate the expense with the contractors.
All right, do you have anything else? Okay. Public safety already did. For Woody, purchase the borough property for patio extension. And I know that this was a holdover from last meeting. John, I know that you and I had spoken, and at the last meeting, John had suggested the possibility of leasing the property rather than selling it. So
So that's a recap of where we are. So since that time, we reached out to attorneys for Woody's and said that there was some interest anyway expressed by the governing body as to leasing as opposed to selling it to them, which is what they want. And they originally said they needed a sale, and they said they needed it because the special permission from the Alcohol Beverage Commission as to using them was going to expire. relocated an administrative order from the Alcohol Beverage Commission director that says that that those will not expire until at least November 30th, 2022. So we got back to them with that information, which they agreed to, so they said there's no rush on it. But they couldn't point us to anything that said they can't do a lease. What they did say was that they still want to buy the 8-foot strip first to expand the licensed area on a more permanent basis. And second, that if he's able to do that, he would invest in upgrading the area for more permanent use. We asked them then what were the upgrades, what was going to be the improvements. And the response we got was in your attachments, but it was resurfacing the existing patio and the extension to make it a continuous level with either textured concrete or pavers, Belgian block curving, decorative colored bollards, permanent planters that we changed out seasonally, and enhanced outdoor lighting. So the question comes back
Well,
to you.
let me ask the question. I mean, I'm trying to be a cynic here, but are we to believe that if we told them no, but we will lease it to them, that they're going to, oh, we'll make any improvements then? They want this space. They want the space because it increases the business. They're going to make these improvements regardless of whether it's a lease or whether it's a purchase. I find it impossible to believe they would lease it and like, oh, now it's going to be looking like crap. I don't think that would ever be the case. It doesn't make any sense. Again, this is not ultimately going to be my decision because I'm going to be here, but I agree with John, and I don't know how the rest of you feel. I don't think we should be selling borough property for this type of use.
I don't think we're releasing to them as far as resurfacing and raising that.
I guess they would because as far as anyone else is going to, and if they don't, they're still going to make it look nice because they're going to want to extend their business into
I mean, it looks nice that way.
Yeah, it looks fine. Yeah. I didn't mean crap that it looks like crap. It's not. But I just don't think we should be selling borough property.
I would be, I would tend to agree in principle, but I'd be interested to see what the economics look like, as far as if we sell it for X, whatever that is, or if we lease it, or we'll lease it for, what's, financially in our best interest. I'd rather not give up or sell property, we don't have to, but I'm curious if that's what we can make on that. I could ask Tiffany Fuso for, our assessor, just like what that increased square footage would look like in terms of a sale price.
Right, and the problem with the sales, that it was attractive, but it's a one-time inflow of money.
That's exactly
that gets spent by the borough immediately, almost always, and then you don't have anything
And
from it.
worst comes to worst, if we do a lease situation, it could always be a lease to buy. If we feel like selling it later, we can sell it later.
Right.
I'd rather keep the asset and have a generated income as opposed to flush out the income.
You may need it for parking at some point in the future again. I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, especially with the way the town's growing, so.
Plus, if they own it, they have the option of expanding actual building itself.
Did you ask for a little sketch of what they actually improvements they want to make?
Sure, I could ask for that.
He did, we got it. It was an original.
They gave us a survey, they didn't show, that it didn't show the improvements, it showed the area they wanted to purchase, but I don't think it showed.
Yeah, it's not going to be much different than what we do right now from like.
Right, so it looks really nice.
It's just rather than having picnic tables on the blacktop, we'll be on paper.
Right.
Or a curved area.
Just sketch it out. The other concern I have is if they sell the property, then we're dealing with a whole different entity.
Correct.
Well, that's the thing, is if they sell the property, and technically that building can be built, it can be built out further because now their property is 8 feet wider. So they have, whatever their setbacks are now 8 feet wider, so now they can pull that building.
And I don't think that's not Christian's, I believe that, I don't think that's his intent.
No.
I mean, he's doing this because he saw how successful it was over the summer, that's where he sees things going, and he wants more outdoor seating. So that's what he wants to do, is just he can accomplish everything by leasing that he can by buying.
Well, yeah, what I meant is that,
Yes, in the future, absolutely, 100% right.
it's not just Chris, it's one day Chris is going to be a
We could, however, to that point, you can put restrictions in the deed of sale saying that he can't, and he's bound by the original footprint of the original building. You can put that in there. So you could put restrictions in and do that.
Yeah, you can do that. Sure.
So they're both because it's just, I think overall, I don't see how that he loses anything by leasing to air.
I agree.
Yeah.
And they talked about 2022 for the ABC regulations, but I know a lot of towns that rent property to liquor establishments that are on there. You can look at Belmar, those piers are all,
Yeah, the marina and the
they're all publicly owned.
Yeah, they're
They're all long-term leases.
That was one question I had last week. I wasn't sure if, you know.
Yeah, that argument. But I mean,
No, they didn't pursue it.
Okay. All right, and Councilman get some, asking who's over some number.
Yeah, and I'm curious as to what the runway would look like, and I know we're kind of guessing, but I'd like to see that as well.
solid waste and disposal. This is about the garbage.
Yeah, we had, it's back on the agenda, we have some numbers from Schumann that put them together with Dave, and, I mean, we don't have a lot of problems, we have a few, you know, that are.
Joe, there's a handout, Dave.
Yes, thank you, Dave. There are a few, and maybe if you know, the path of least resistance would be just limiting the number of cans.
Well, I think it's one of the things Sean mentioned last week is to limit the amount of cans per business. Anything over those cans have to be either, we either work with our with the company that currently picks up our trash to then work out a cost schedule, a cost model for anything over those allotted cans. So if a business is only allowed 3 cans and they put out 10, what do we charge them for the other 7?
I think we can have the best person to price it out would be the vendor, and let the vendor deal exclusively with them, because they'll enforce it if they're paying for it.
Right.
So I would think if we pick a number, if it's 2, if it's 3 cans, anything over that, they have to make the arrangements with the vendor, and the vendor will price it out, and they have to pay the vendor.
The question
We're out of it. We don't need to bill, we don't need to do any of that, we're not equipped for that.
The big concern with that was, though, how do we force them, or how do we get them to only use our vendor? Because if our vendor comes in with a price to them that they don't like, and they decide to go get another vendor, and now their vendor, now we get garbage trucks coming through town.
I don't know that you can force it.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
That's what I'm saying. We want to avoid garbage trucks coming through town 5 days a week.
I understand you do have a lot of them that do come in 5 days a week for other businesses that are handling it on their own right now. The Tommies of the world, the McCoons of the world, other businesses, the marinas have them coming in,
The beach club, sorry.
yeah. So we really only have 2 or 3 that have given us a problem, and it's really not even a problem, it's just, you know, a burden on our system. We're paying for their cost. I think it can be easily handled between the vendor, any vendor, but specifically our vendor, and if you limit it to 2 or 3 cans, and we're out of that business.
That sounds, I agree with that.
All right, everybody else?
Is it 2 or 3?
I don't know, I think,
I would say 5.
Okay, whatever.
There's a big difference between 2, 3, and 5.
Our median is 3 there, so between 2 and 5, our median is 3.
Just on the subject, I'm just concerned with a couple of places that stack their garbage and their cardboard in very small alleyways. If we had a fire in one of those places, we could keep trouble. So, and when they go to the street, they actually take up a parking space on the street with their cans and stuff. So I think I restrict the numbers, but there has to be some way that they cannot stack stuff in the background somewhere.
Well, that would be for Tom, really, I'm sorry, he left already.
Right now, our ordinance says you can have 10, 32,
10, 30,
Gallons.
4, 5, 6.
so you can take the 5, 32s, or 3, 64s.
So that's what our ordinance says now.
It's actually not.
It's a portion of the condition document, they're not really.
It's a contract.
It's in your contract, it's not in your ordinance, it's in your contractor, okay.
Good catch, there's 532s and 364s. Good compromise. And recycling, let me get an answer from Tom, how you can do that. No, I know, but I think everybody's saying now 532s or 364s.
Okay, that makes sense.
This is at the bottom
Yeah.
of five, oh,
Last two sentences.
got it.
And the recycling, let me talk to Tom Hague and see if there's, maybe there's an enforcement. I only know of really one or two people that do that as well, yeah, so maybe we can handle it with them just on a meeting.
Because I mean, I would love to, know, and Ocean House, and as soon as we mentioned that there's going to be a change, they start taking their hands in, they don't do that anymore, so they just know, and heads up, instead of just telling.
Yep, I'll talk to them about recycling.
It's a good point.
Thank you.
So we can't really do it.
They're on
It's not an ordinance, it's a contractual ordinance that we do.
Easily.
Rental of gym at the old rec center for the Boy Scouts, John.
Yeah, basically, like to get that gym back into use, and the Cub Scouts want to do their final grade. People not actually, that they need to set up on the 8th. I had filled out paperwork, and then we told me a special event, but it's not. It's a record. And we waive that fee anyway for any not-for-profit. So we're really not asking much other than I wanted to reward them. I don't want to tell them they have it. And if something changes, and, that I'm sorry.
Is that-
That's it.
Is that in the ordinance now, that if it's a non-profit, they get it for free, or do you have to do something?
There's nothing.
Oh, there's nothing in the ordinance, so can you put a resolution on for the next meeting to make waive fee for that?
And we always had a rental agreement for that building, if you recall.
Yeah, it's in the ordinance. There's an ordinance attached, and I thought you said that if it was a nonprofit, it would automatically be waived, but
That's what came to Stowe.
yeah, I don't think that's.
Do we want to have an ordinance that has that, a permanent fixture?
I wouldn't do that. My recommendation is because you want to use anything to become a non-for-profit, and you
It's also, it can be associated with services.
Yeah.
So that's what I was getting at, and we had to do it everyone.
Now, if we want to take this off, as we're going to start using this gym again, Don and I are working on other ideas and concepts. But our goal is to generate some dollars.
right.
Very safe.
It is. I mean, that'd be an amazing event to have there. It'd be very. Which Cub Scout is it? Seabright Cub Scouts or?
They don't seem like
I didn't think there was.
They're hoping they can attract the level,
Yeah.
but it's the whole county.
Oh, it's the county Cub Scout.
They will bring, probably 100 families will come in to watch these kids, so.
But which towns are going to? Because don't most towns have their own
They
fighting
have their
area?
own troops, there's one in Monmouth, there's Middletown, right, then they start sharing.
Okay. I mean, I know I was a Cub Scout in Silver, and we had our own fighting derby, so that's why I thought maybe it was Ocean Court or something
Now,
like that.
this is a bigger group.
Bigger, interesting.
Their lead management team came.
That's excellent. I mean, it's awesome. And it's a great event. I still have my final 30 cars. All right. 2022 borough fees. Who's covering that? Just Chris?
Well, I mean, every year we, do a resolution to the real meeting to, farm up the fees for 2022. So I'd like to just follow with that.
I think we're good on everything. The only thing I have concern about are the sidewalk cafes, because obviously it's gotten out of hand. And my personal opinion is that we do not give any others sidewalk permits this year, because the chief I spoke to the chief, and the chief has actually spoken to them about taking up the space that they're taking up now, and basically trying to move it back and stuff. And he basically said, take a walk.
Didn't we amend the ordinance to have a penalty that they would lose their license after a number of violations? Have they actually reached the?
I'll ask Brett.
I think you're going to have to follow that.
It's at the point where they see Brett coming in, they just like to turn around.
Oh, they don't care. But But we did set that up. It's in the ordinance, and I don't know how many violations they've actually received.
Tom has actually told them, given them warnings about the alley as well, because there's a lot of fire hazards.
Right.
So we've been talking about that, so.
Yes.
Let me find out and I'll have an update for you from Brett.
So the next council meeting? Because we may indeed want to, well, if they lose it, they lose it underneath the ordinance, but I don't think that we should just talk about
I don't think
that.
about the probably need if they lose it. I have a feeling they're going to keep going.
Oh, they're going to. And then you're going to have to do something.
So we're going to need to do something.
Enforcement.
A little more aggressive.
Yes, unfortunately, but yes, they don't
So
care.
on that note, Rich, what course of action do we have for a restaurant that has a BYO license?
In terms of what?
Stopping them from doing BYO? Because that's a course of action that we have from
Do
that.
you need a license to bring a road?
No, you don't need a license for that. There's nothing in the alcohol beverages. I mean, you could pass an ordinance saying, you know, want BYO, if that's what you want.
Okay. I thought we had some kind of legal, I thought there was some kind of like legal permission that they need to get the ABC to do BYO.
No, not to do BYO, no.
Okay, I was just asking. I wasn't sure.
All right, so Joe will check that out. I'll have an answer for us at the next council meeting. And,
What's the next step if they just keep going?
well, it's a zoning enforcement. Well, it's a zoning and it's a code enforcement violation. So you have to sit with code enforcement, bring them to court, and try to get restraining order against them for doing. So it will be a mess, but you can't. The borough has to do something. You can't just let a business spit in your face, which is essentially what's been going on.
I agree with you, it's a nice place.
It's a great place.
And all that.
And if they just cooperated, it'd be that good for everybody. They don't care.
They think they like
Absolutely, they do.
And you know, I don't know that we're dealing with the owner, I know we're dealing with one of the managers there, so maybe we ought to, I'll ask Brett to talk to.
Brett's been talking.
I think Brett's talking right. I don't think it's changed. But can't find out. All right, Comcast cable franchise renewal ordinance. Nice of that to finally show up after, what, over a year? You were, yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, but is there anything anybody wanted to do?
One of the things that, the reason one of the things that came up with this, that I always wanted to push is to make sure, and I don't know if I saw that in here, please correct me if I'm wrong, but to make sure that if they are putting anything new somewhere, that if there's something abandoned that they own, they have to remove it before they can put anything new on. That was the primary issue that we've had with a lot of these areas, especially in the tighter spots behind the buildings and the easement behind the off of Ocean Avenue there, behind Angelica's and stuff like that. Actually, specifically behind Homehouse, there's a hole back there that's got about, it's a rat's nest of wires up there that are all abandoned and, you know, nobody wants to take ownership of them. So,
we were going to look into, Joe, you were going to look into getting somebody who could, or Phil, you were going to do it, or somebody was going to do it, go out there and look. And there's got to be a way for us to determine who those wires specifically belong to. It can't just be.
well, they know who they belong to.
They know who they belong to, but they all say it's not them. So, but someone from our side has to be able to say it. And I think we're going to have to Phil, your office to do it.
We have a gentleman.
Okay. I mean, is that something we had talked about having them do it? Is that something that you're still interested in?
Yeah, I think.
Can you put together a proposal for that?
Where you, this is downtown area?
It's basically, is it one place that we're really concerned about?
There's one pole in particular that's a problem. It's back behind Colorado, by that art gallery there. There's a pole back behind there, in the easement behind there.
The little alleyway behind the.
And you know back there, there's
It's a
branches over it. Yeah, there's tree branches over it. It's a nightmare.
Yeah, you can get us.
So that's not, I mean, that's the worst case scenario, but we do have others in town where they just abandon the lines and they leave them in place.
Every time that's the same problem.
So, one of the things I want to make sure in this ordinance that we put together is if they're putting something new, if they own something on there that's abandoned and old, they have to take it out before they put anything new on.
But in the meantime, Phil, you can get us that proposal. The big vision for the downtown area, it sounds like, is what we really need it for.
It's really a small area.
Yeah, it's small area.
2 blocks probably.
Okay.
So one point, there's a set of stairs in that alleyway back there. The people would walk to their second floor apartment, and you walk up to the top of the stairs, you can reach up and touch the water.
With that corner store?
No.
No, it's apartments.
The apartments there.
The parking's on the west side of the easement.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, just, that can't be,
Yeah, no, that's, well, depends on the wires.
yeah, I mean, like a telephone, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well, that's Bill will find out.
That's the big issue.
Is that, and that's, you know, it's appropriate to get back to Comcast with our comments, so that's the one comment we're getting back.
Well, the other thing, and I'm not suggesting that we do this, I just want to make sure people are aware of it, and I think we can do this. Can Seabright, if it desires, put in a franchise fee that gets sent back to the homeowners? I see that on the bill that came in. I just got a new Comcast bill, and certain towns, it's not everybody, certain towns have an additional tax on top of it that is in the bill. Like I said, like if you live in Middletown, you're paying X amount more. So I don't know if that's something that we can do, and I don't know if anybody wants to do it. I'm not suggesting we do. I just wanted to. That's different. I don't think that's the specific fee going to Seabright. There's like an excise tax or something. I don't know what it is.
You're talking about something over on top of the 3.5?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it was specific to certain towns. It was in the bill.
I would be interested to see what we are permitted to do in that case. If we can, if number one, are we allowed to do that?
Right.
What the process is, and then secondly, what the number might look like. I'm not saying we have to do it, but I'd be interested.
And that's why I was throwing it out there. It's something I saw. I have no idea the legality behind it or why it's there. It just, I saw it. It wasn't like every town in Monmouth County is a specific town. The Comcast just put out a notice of their increase in fees for 2022.
Okay.
And it was in there.
And it was specific municipalities.
Specific municipalities, yeah, and very few municipalities. If I can find it.
Chris is reminding me that this, Rich's memo was not in the package. It came in after the packages went out. You got it by email?
Yeah, we saw it.
So there are some items in there that seem like they might apply, Rich, to removal of services that are not in service.
About that abandoned?
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
There was something there, but I wasn't sure if it really applies.
I don't recall.
You said that, didn't you say that? There was something there, but it sounded like it was only applied if we made a change to the layout, is what it sounded like. It sounded like if we initiated a change to that location, then they would have to remove anything that was abandoned or something like that. It was only something if we initiated the change. But what I was more concerned about is if they want to put something new there, they first have to take anything old off.
But they agreed back then that they would come over.
Yeah, and they said it's not
And they
them.
all said it's not ours, because they don't want to remove it.
Much no. They said that's not ours, that's ours.
Didn't talk to Mr. Roberts was a VP or something, right?
Yeah, Clifton.
It is,
He said that, he would participate.
He said a lot of things that he didn't do.
He said it out.
He also said he was going to call a couple days to deal with my cable concerns at that time, because and Chris and I would be like, he never called back. We never heard him back.
Verizon said they would be able to fit three services in that.
I mean, we'll come up with something, we were supposed to get this like within a couple of weeks after that
There's
meeting.
a lot of things that help me.
There were changes in the section on construction requirements, but I don't, looking at it quickly now, I don't see that.
Yeah, that was exactly it. I wasn't sure. I wanted to make sure that was covered.
Okay.
Okay, so you're looking into the tax, I think you should advise the council on that.
Yes, and we'll check that as well, see if it's in there. If it's not, we can get back to them with one of our comments. Okay, we'll check that.
That if I can find the increase, I'm not sure now, but if I,
Maybe they have it on their.
I'm sure they do, website, yeah. It wasn't special for me. All right, 9, ordinance to monitor seismic activity during pile driving. This was something that a resident suggested because we had an incident in the downtown area where they're putting in pile drivers and Kevin and you lived there, you feel like the entire downtown shook. And, yeah, so we thought this would be a good idea to introduce something like this, and is that something you all still want to do?
I think so. I think it's, I don't think it's going to really affect too many people moving forward because
Good.
most of our homes are coming up. And those that are going up are not necessarily prime piles. Because, most of the houses that are downtown now are, if they need to be raised, they're going to get raised. This just happened to be an open lot, so we had the ability to drive piles. But I don't think we're going to see too many of those type of situations from downtown. But for future reference, it's not a bad thing to put in place.
All right, so that could go on for introduction at the second meeting in January. If someone's got to actually draft the ordinance.
Yeah, it's got to be put in the ordinance.
Okay.
I think it reads as a notice now.
Erwin, you don't have a problem with that?
I don't.
Okay, so, yeah, you can put it on, if you prepare it and put it on for the second meeting in January, okay? There is a second meeting in January, right?
Yes.
It's for introduction. Okay, all right. Light at Anchorage Park crosswalk.
This one's pretty much not a problem anymore because one of the overhead lights was out and I didn't realize there was an overhead light there and I was walking my dog and it was black. But that being said, even though the light is now fixed, it is still a little dark right at that crosswalk. So if you are, and this time of year, it's getting dark at 4:30. So, I go walk my dog, I go across there, and like literally people can't see me at that. So, there is a light on the west facing side of the bathroom there, that's just not on. So maybe we can rework that light to at least turn that light on to backlight somebody that might be standing at that, crosswalk. I don't know how many people are going from one direction or the other, but I think we should have some kind of, it should be lit up a little bit better.
Dan, can you look at the timing on the light on the Anchorage bathroom? See if we can change the timing?
Could we just expand on the ocean side, the stairs going down to the actual beach at night, the steps are in the dark, the building shadow or whatever. So we're looking at it, maybe we look at that and see if we need additional lighting.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of spots around here too. Even this building at night. I mean, all these lights go off at 10 o'clock. So I mean, yeah, that's great. But if you happen to be out walking your dog at 10, 11 o'clock at night or whatever, and come through, it's pitch black over here. I mean, especially the big part is right in this corner over here, like behind the generators over there. I mean, that's a really bad dark pinch point. Not that something bad would happen, but it's not necessarily a good spot to be caught in the dark at. So I just think I think we should probably maybe keep the lights on, or at least a couple of them on a little bit later in certain spots, especially my staircases.
Next slide. All right.
Just one update, we put in an application for pedestrian activated crosswalk lighting and checked with the engineer. He has not yet heard back from the DOT if they're going to approve our application.
Yeah, and that's one of the, that crosswalk at Anchorage Park is one of the ones that we looked at with them, so hopefully that'll.
That's, in fact, number one for me. Because
Yeah.
They had said that would be attended to, a review of the federal. I didn't think that look at that walking center.
We put our application before that, so I didn't know
He said that would not be moved on. He wouldn't even start, but it's going to take a couple of years, but February would be the next time we go.
But I think the application of that would choose.
Mutually exclusive events. We made an application last year and this year for the flashing beacons. Just so happened that it coincided with the other project that DOT had. They had no idea, and I sent them all the application information so they had it. Typically we hear about January, I think it's what we heard last year. So we expect to hear this January for the grant. The project they're doing, that's a year or two off. I guess what they said during the walkthrough.
Yeah, that one was a county project that they're looking at all of the county-wide crosswalks, mid-block crosswalks, for that specific reason. And then the one that we applied for is whatever crosswalks we want, essentially.
Bill, as long as we're talking, it just clicked in my head to ask you this. The sign permit for North Beach, for the Welcome to Seabright sign.
Yes.
Do you know any idea we might get back from them on that?
I'll reach out to Ron Roberts. He's very responsive.
Okay.
He's here 2 months ago.
I know, yeah, that's, and I didn't think of it until we just had that discussion, but I'd like to know that's actually the intent there. Thank you. All right, memorial benches.
Supply chain problem. Our price increased dramatically for them, for memorial benches.
This is the one for the park, right?
We do still have places to put, yeah.
This is the park benches.
And on the walkway.
There's places on the walkway? I was told there wasn't.
We identified a couple extra. The bottom line is we were charging $12.50 or something for them. We're up to $1,750 now. We don't make any money on these memorial benches, whatever it costs. We only add $50 for putting them together and installing them, which just barely covers our costs. It's not a profit thing. It's for people.
So it is what it is.
So I'm just wanted to tell you 1750 is the new number, and it'll go down if the cost of shipping and everything goes back down. But right now it's 1750.
Okay, so there's just this. Just a quick question before you go outside. Just thought of this. The bridge. Do we know when they're actually starting?
Joe told me yesterday. I don't know.
I know we had a groundbreaking where they brought in a crane and had a nice photo shoot.
It was supposed to be November 30th, so, and that was not.
Yeah, who asked me when I called him? Was it you?
Yeah.
He said within 30 days. Whatever
Within 30, oh, it was 30 days. That's what,
whenever that was.
yeah, what did I ask you about that question? I don't remember.
It's got to be close.
It's just amazing how government wastes money. They hire out a crane to come, sit there, park there for a photo shoot, and then they pull the crane away. And I'm just like, seriously, people?
Never mind.
They have to bring their own dirt.
Yeah, I know.
The worst was the day before they actually put a street sweeper in that parking lot to clean the parking lot, put dirt in the parking lot.
All right, so we're thinking sometime during the year. Yeah, I'm just curious. All right, and now finally, the bids for the beach businesses. So we have those. Everyone's got them. The one thing that came up in this, Lucky Dog, and Chris and I have spoken. I did speak with Melissa. Something weird happened. She completely misunderstood what she was doing when she put in that bid because.
I think that she was paying for the 5 years in one bid.
Correct.
Not like 1 year.
And then it increases off the $8,000, right? So it's like astronomical at the end of the day, which is why her bid is so out of whack. And the other point is that if I understand correctly, no one else bid for the surf camps, correct? So I'm just suggesting that we don't have to because that's a bid, but I think she probably meant to bid it somewhere in the, I don't remember.
I think the payment for 8,000 payment was a 5-year payment.
Right.
I have no problem with that. If she wants to.
I don't know that we can do that, but she bid on it. We could reject the bid.
Well,
and re-advertise.
That's what I was going to say.
And she may not want you to do that, but it's just, again, this wasn't, keep in mind that they said no one else bid on this, and it was a silent bid, so nobody knows that she did this, and then I just feel bad, a local business being hit like that.
Yeah, so I mean, there's a statutory procedure for correcting a bid. I mean, it's set up in the context of, a bid where the municipality is paying money instead of you getting money. But there is a procedure in there. I have to double check it.
I mean, we also do have the right to reject the bid and re-advertise if we chose to do that.
Yeah, you would have that. I'm not sure you kept that in language in there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We did.
Yep. I just wondered if you could do that, sure.
So we can't just say that 8,000 is.
Yeah, why can't we just do that?
What, say what?
To just say the $8,000, it was a mistake in the bid, and that $8,000 was for the 5-year lease, rather than the subsidy.
Let me check this out.
Okay.
Let me check this out.
Because that was her intent. And I just don't want it to get stopped unnecessarily. I mean, if other people bid, I wouldn't be having this conversation, but literally nobody else bid. So,
We've got one option, so
Right.
make sure it's something that works for them, and works for us.
exactly. Okay, thank you, guys. So that's that.
So what are we gonna do?
So Rich will confirm that by the next council meeting, because you want a resolution on the next agenda?
We're gonna Jack, I should probably do it.
Yeah, I don't think we should reject it. There's got to be a way we can do what Kevin and I and Chris are suggesting.
But if we can.
But if you can't, well, I think what you would do in that case, Jack, before you reject it, have a specific conversation with her.
Oh, sure.
Because she's not going to want to have to rebid it, and she'll probably live with that if she rather than have to go back out again.
We'll just find out what our options are.
Yeah.
And then we want to say A or B.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right, so then the resolutions, anything you need to know specifically, Chris? Or Jeff?
No, just for information purposes.
Okay, these are all going to be on for the next meeting. You've got the, Charles, it's on here, your 2 vehicles for the fire department. We're going, so you have that. By the way, I didn't notice before your son's here, and he just wanted to acknowledge him.
He's fantastic.
Yes, and he is so well behaved, it's amazing.
He does not get that from me.
We have to keep all meetings with him.
We got fed well this morning.
Yeah. Okay, we're hiring 2 new, we're hiring a class 2, or how many, 2?
We're hiring 2 new ones, and 1 is moving from the class 1 to the class 2.
Okay. Authorizing donation of council stipend to senior program, that's yours?
I
Okay.
don't know if anyone else is, that's specifically for me.
We need a resolution for that?
That's what Mike told me.
You can't just accept it and write the check.
He said it at our meeting.
Yeah, but that's what he's always behind us meeting, so.
Whatever, talk about it over here. This is ridiculous. Like, what if you, I know you don't want the check, but if you quote the check, you could just write a check to the senior.
Yeah, but then he'd have to pay.
But I know you don't want to do that. You don't want the check. So I get it. It just seems silly. Okay. And then final change order on the sewer improvement program. Okay. That's it. We need exactly.
The only other thing I would
We do. Okay.
The only other thing I want to mention is that according to the chief, built the project, downtown project, at River Street there, that's supposedly getting started.
Wait, what?
The old North Shore building, that building that we approved through planning board.
Yeah. Okay. The North Shore.
Apparently that sold and the project's gonna get started soon.
Okay. Right. Yeah, well, they have their approvals from the planning board.
Yeah. So, you know, because I asked him about the trailers and the roll-off flatbed and stuff that were in that property, and he said, oh, yeah, start.
I was afraid you were talking about the Front Street properties going there. I'm like, what?
Oh.
Yeah, the redevelopment zone. I'm like, wait.
Well, they did put boats back there.
Okay,
There are about 6 boats in storage back there now, which they've never done before. So.
They may be allowed to do that. I don't know.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Store stuff.
Still. Okay. So we need executive? All right, we'll make a motion to go into, what are we doing? Litigation, contracts,
Let's see.
anything fun?
Contract communication.
All right, we have an executive session to go into contract, to discuss contracts and litigation.